Okay, at 5 o'clock, I'll call the meeting to order. Pursuant to MGL 7C3820F, after notifying the chair of public body, any person may make a video, audio recording of an open session of a meeting of a public body, may transmit the meeting through any medium. Beginning of the meeting, the chair shall inform other attendees of any such recordings. Meeting is being recorded by the town, by the Berkshire Edge, and by CTSP. Any member of the public wishing to speak at the meeting must receive permission of the chair. The listing of agenda items are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed. Other items not listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Okay, we're going to start off with executive sessions. So first one is, and we will be returning to open session. Executive session under MGL 30A21A6 for the following purpose: to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate regarding Housatonic Waterworks. An open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the board and the town. Do I have a motion?
I move that the board meet in executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A6 for the following purpose: to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate regarding Housatonic Waterworks, because an open discussion may have a detrimental effect on the negotiations position of the town and board.
Do I have a
I'll
second?
second that.
Thank you. A roll call vote. Phil.
Aye.
Ben.
Aye.
Garfield.
Aye.
Eric.
Aye.
And I, it's unanimous. The next one, I am recusing myself from.
Executive session under MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A3 for the following purpose: to discuss strategy with respect to litigation, GLaDOS Shapiro versus Town of Great Barrington. If an open meeting may be detrimental effect to litigation position of the town and board.
I'll second that.
I'm gonna make a motion, move that the board meet in executive session pursuant MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A3 for the following purpose: to discuss strategy with the respective litigation, GLaDOS Shapiro versus Town of Great Barrington, because an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the litigation position of the board and the town.
Second.
Roll call vote, Phil? Ben? Aye. Garfield? And aye.
Okay, we will return to open session as soon as we conclude these two. Yeah. I'll be out for half. I'll be out. Hanging around. Hold on. Eileen?
I just have two questions. Excuse me, how long do you think you'll be in executive session for the two of them?
I'm
And,
hoping 30 to 45 minutes.
thanks, because I'm eating dinner. And why did you recuse from the second?
I've been advised by lawyers to recuse myself on the GLaDOS Shapiro because of the school committee and town select board positions, the joint positions.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We all set? Okay, let's call the joint meeting of the select board and finance committee to order. Start with a roll call vote of each, since we have members online. Bill. Here. Ben.
Here.
Garfield.
Here.
Eric.
Here.
And Steve here. Your turn.
And, Ann,
I'm here, Michelle's here.
and I believe Donna is online.
Yes, here.
Oh, and Elena is also now on, the guest list.
Good, I'll promote her.
And, Rich Geiler is here, so we're all present.
Get promoted for. You all, Elena?
No, I put it
Yes,
right.
I'm here. Yeah.
Perfect. Tremendous. Okay. I believe the one part that we were going to talk about mainly tonight was on the second page under debt management. Underlined, so Richard, do you want to start?
Yes, our intent, as the finance committee was, as it states here, to avoid ballooning debt service payments. We felt it was important to add another clause to this document. We were saying to make every effort to limit yearly long-term general fund borrowing to 3.5 million or less, which was the town's historical average before the year when we had the $11 million ask. That's what we're attempting to avoid. Only emergency borrowing should exceed this average. This is the language that our committee came up with. Now, I understand that there were some changes that the select board had discussed and wanted to see if perhaps we can together come up with something that would serve the same intent, but be slightly different.
Phil, do you want to start off? Not especially, but.
Just think what I tried to express at our prior meeting, I think, is I went back and checked, and I think that this was, I think the finance committee agreed to this, I think prior to Liz coming on as town manager.
Indeed.
So I think my primary point on this is I just felt, given the sequence of events, I'd rather not impose this on Liz as she goes through, prior to going through her first budget process here. That being said, it's a thoughtful message that at a high level, I certainly agree with it. But I don't, where I struggle is just sort of adding this sort of specific provision as a guideline right at the time that Liz is sort of starting her process to go through our budget process, learn about what works, learn about what doesn't, and possibly make some revisions for next year. So that's where I came out.
And quite honestly, I think this in future years may be helpful, but even if not, the two boards are the gatekeepers to this for town meeting. So if a town manager came to us with $7 million of borrowing requests to bring to town meeting on the warrant, it doesn't get there without the finance committee, especially saying, yeah, go ahead. So I'm not sure it's necessary. I think it's good guidance maybe, but I would love to see, especially in Liz's first year, what does she and her staff think we need?
Any other comments from the finance committee?
I certainly understand. I think it's, in some ways, the timing is a little complicated, but it could be useful to have a guideline, and I don't want to speak for Liz, but to have something in writing that says we're trying to limit borrowing. And I thought we'd had this pre-conversation even before the finance committee went off and drafted this, that the thought was it would be helpful to have something in writing that it really sort of both encourages us as committees to set some limits, but also letting people in the town know that we are really trying to set some restrictions on borrowing because we have seen the impact it has on budgets. And again, I don't want to get into too much wordsmithing. I've always struggled with why we don't sort of propose a rolling average. So it's not year by year by year by year. And so there can be a year where you borrow more, but then you have to sort of try to sort of think of subsequent years borrowing less. I've always been against the one year limit versus a rolling limit that has an average across multiple years, even if it's 5 years. I mean, I just think that's what we should do. I still think it would be helpful. And again, this isn't saying you can't borrow more. It's just that you really have to make a very strong case for borrowing more. So that's mine.
Can I just jump in? Yeah, Can I just jump in? And I just would like to say a couple of things. One of them is, I don't know if everyone understands how the process actually works, so that, you know, we approve certain level of borrowing because there are some projects planned, etc. However, the timing is a bit unpredictable. And so as a result, what happens is you can have, you know, you can have the budget review and you kind of monitor and make sure that we are all pretty reasonable there. But then what may happen is that actually the borrowing is much bigger because something was not borrowed the previous years. And that's was a bit of a surprise, I think, to all of us. And then what it really does is it creates a real pressure on the operations of the town. And I think it's really important that we collectively, you know, find ways to really make sure that we are not going to find ourselves with just some extraordinary debt burden certain year and then not enough you know, financial resources available to the town, and things in the town may happen and sometimes very unpredictable. And I think it's really, in my mind, frankly, was, you know, years in financial management, this is very prudent and it really should be here. And I want to also emphasize one thing, and I think, you know, mention that also, it's a guideline. It's not really saying this is hardcore, you know, rule. This is saying this is what we all should be aiming for. This should be our guiding principle. How do we approach, you know, the budget discussions? How do we make certain decisions? And I think it's really important, especially these days, you know, when people are financially struggling and are asking, is this town really doing a good job? Are we all really being aware of what's happening in people's lives? You know, and I think it does send a message, it's not just a prudent financial principle, but it also sends a message to our residents. Yeah, we are really very serious. We are just being, you know, very much aware of some of the financial issues people are facing, and we will make sure that we do our best, you know, collectively, not just the finance committee, but select board and the town staff and everybody. And I think I really feel it's a very, very important thing to add to it. And we did have a conversation just to make sure that everyone is aware of that. Rich and I, we actually met with the finance team, and we met with Chris, and we were suggesting then, and they actually found it extremely helpful, also in terms of their operational management. So I just want to make sure that people understand that this is not something that would necessarily create an issue for the staff. The staff actually welcomed that idea and found it extremely helpful. So that's
So a couple of things, Melinda. I think
Yeah.
we're having a wordsmithing problem, which I agree with Richard, we don't want to get into. One is a bullet point can quickly say that as part of the presentation for the fiscal year budget, that all previous year's borrowing that was still open needs to be presented. And so that we know there's 3 million, there's 2 million, there's 1 million. It's whatever there is, that should just be part of the presentation. I think that, I agree, we're agreeing on most things. The other thing that I'm hearing the finance committee say tonight, but I'm reading something different, that this is almost a suggestion or a recommendation, but the wording to me doesn't say that. The wording to me, it doesn't, I think that's where I'm hung up on it.
Well, I
the
think
wording.
I think we were intending by saying make every effort to is suggestive language to me.
But the only emergency borrowing should exceed this average makes that not, to me at least, maybe I'm reading.
May I make a
Yeah, and then
suggestion?
Garfield.
May I make a suggestion
Sure.
for wording? What if we were to say something simply like, within each 5-year period, make every effort to limit the average yearly long-term general fund borrowing to 3.5 million or less, the town's historical average?
Let me have Garfield, you had your hand up.
I don't have a problem with the language. I think it's, as I said, it's a guideline as far as Liz is concerned. Again, we're saying that this is not written in stone. If she needs to do something, then she can do it. I don't think just because she just came on should be a reason not to do it, because she can look at it, she can make adjustments or leave it or whatever. But I don't think it would burden her, sorry.
Just to your point, Steve, yeah, I kind of agree that it's almost the first line and the second line as far as being a guideline or a directive or kind of in contrast with each other. I'd recommend just cutting that last
Cutting
line.
the second line,
Yeah.
I'm thinking as well.
I just want to say, we struggled a lot on the language of
We
the second
did.
line, because we wanted to say, at first we said only necessary borrowing, but then we thought, well, we should only borrow if absolutely necessary,
yes.
you know, so that didn't work. Maybe, you know, so we struggled with this line a lot too.
Yeah.
Madonna, oh, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of what we talked about when you first came. It's just for town staff, for our boards to really decide what is an emergency. I think that's kind of, let's leave that to the town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Madonna,
Hi, I just would say that I can't believe we have a new town manager who wouldn't want some fiscal responsibility from the finance committee. And I agree with Annie. I certainly agree with Milena. And we just, you know, we need to show that we're not a runaway train when it comes to, oh, well, she's new. And well, we don't want to, you know, do this because what if she really wants more? No, you know, it's not a runaway train. We've got residents that are, including me, that are desperate to keep things under control. So, yeah, I would think that Liz would welcome it and think that we're doing our due diligence. I think that's a real plus. That's what I have.
I'm sorry. Madonna.
Yes, sir.
Rich, do you want to try to make a motion of what you said, just to see if anyone agrees with it?
Well, I would move that we revise our language to the following. Within each 5-year period, make every effort to limit the average yearly long-term general fund borrowing to 3.5 million or less, the town's historical average. So in order to create this language, I just removed the beginning of our first phrase, to avoid ballooning debt service payments, and I cut the last line. I just added within each 5-year period. So we're looking at a 5-year period, try to keep the average of the 5 years, yearly average of the 5 years to 3.5 million or less.
Okay, we'll discuss this, but let's have a second first. So.
Okay,
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, I guess just my 2 cents in general on it. I completely understand where the finance board's coming from. I understand we want to get spending under control and especially debt service. We've also had a lot of projects that have needed to get sorted out and getting up to speed. And in the last meeting, I just asked that we table this until next year, so all the new stuff, that our new town manager may or may not want to put into place as far as with, this coming budget season, new person at the helm, I'm sure the budget season and proposals will be different than we've been used to seeing the last handful of years. And so I kind of wanted, if you would, like, just to go through it 1 year and then everybody on the finance board can vote no on everything and make sure it stays under $3.5 million. And then next year, we see how it goes and if we want to put this on, if the 3.5 million seems to lead up with inflation and everything else and what is on the horizon as far as projects and needs. Then we talk about it again, but I just think that between new town manager and town staff, sorting out new ways of things that have to be done. So because I'm pretty sure Liz might be asking budgets to be done differently than our last town manager. So those are the concerns I have. It's just procedural stuff. No one here is gonna argue that we wanna have more debt. I don't think at this table. I just think it's how putting it in this form is what's made me nervous. I'm on board. Let's not borrow anymore. But it's, I just think we need to go through one budget season with our new town manager and staff getting used to what's being asked from them, from their new town manager. And then discuss this. That's kind of the way I was looking at it.
Annie, then Madonna.
Hi, thank you
Well,
for,
Annie's gonna go first, then you.
oh, okay, okay.
I guess just to play devil's advocate on this, this is a guideline.
Mhm.
We can put this in and use the coming year to see, does this help? I mean, because I also say, having been on, men through many budget seasons, the borrowing asks come in really high. That's been my experience. And we chop the borrowing. I would love to have a budget season where we're not coming in with, 10 or $15 million borrowing ask, and then we have to cut down to 4 or 5. I would like this guideline to see if it can't help us. And again, it might be that Liz comes to us and says, you know what, I gotta come in with 5. I can't come in with 3.5 this year, I gotta come in with 5. And then we can revisit this for fiscal year 28 and say, you know what, maybe 3.5 isn't realistic. We should raise that in the coming years because we weren't even able to make it in our first year. So I think we're on the same page, which is, let's see how this year goes. But I think I would say let's see how this goes with a guideline that we may or may not be able to adhere to. But I just don't want to. I'm worried that we're going to get a $15 million borrowing house.
You're welcome, Madonna.
Yeah, Madonna, then Garfield, then Melina.
Thank you. I respectfully disagree with Selectmen that this is the kick the can down the road vote. I agree with Annie. Let's put it in. Let's get some structure to this. And if it needs tweaking, it needs tweaking, and we can do it. But to just say, oh, she's new, what if she needs more? It's the same old, kick the can down the road. And I think we got a lot of residents that are tired of it. Thank you. Respect.
I agree with what Annie said. I think it's a guideline. I think if Liz wants to do some changing, it can be done. I don't think this is so much. I think maybe we're making more of it than we should. It's a guideline. It's good to have guidelines in everything. It's like planning. You have to have a plan. So I think there's a guideline as a plan. It doesn't mean that it's written in stone. If Liz needs to do something else, he's the town manager. He'll do it. I don't know why this is making it so complicated. If she says this isn't enough, then you change it. Maybe I'm being too simple about it, but it seems to me that it can be done, and if there is some change you need, let her have it, let her do it. I don't think no offense, I don't think the newness, but I think Liz is pretty sharp. I'm sure she's dealt with this kind of stuff.
No offense. We've been talking like she's not here the whole time. Yeah,
And nothing that we're doing here has any reflection on our feeling about what Joe's gonna do.
Well, if I can just finish, I just think that we need to, I don't have a problem with having a guideline and knowing it can be changed because that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And we need to do different semantics, then because we're talking semantics a little bit here as well.
Melina, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something similar to Madonna. I really feel this is very critical, and I have to tell you, we don't really have anything in place right now, and that's worrisome. And just as Garfield said, this is something we are just gonna put in. We will find out it's helpful. We will find out it's not helpful. But we need to come up with some kind of a policy. And I think if some people on the select board feel this might not be the right thing, I would like them then to present something that would get us to the same place. It could be done differently. I don't really care. But I think the key here is that the budget process as it is today, in terms of the project, especially the capital type of projects, we don't have a control over it, over the financing, and that has to be addressed. And I think this is actually a very, very simple proposal that we are putting in front of you, and it's pretty straightforward, and there is, it would not require any major effort and we will just get much better at things. And that's all really what we are looking forward to do. And as I said, if someone feels that they have a better idea, then please present them. But to me, this is really the way we have to go. The process
So-
right
so a
now,
couple
as we
things.
have it, is not working totally. No, it is not.
Couple things. We're working on Rich's motion, and I would say his motion to me solves a lot of it, makes it more of a recommendation. I think he does a good job. The other thing which I'll respectfully disagree with you on it, we have a lot of controls in place. It's called a finance committee, it's called a select board, and it's called a town meeting.
It is not.
to
But
me,
you
those-
may,
those are
no,
controls.
it's not.
Oh,
I'm sorry, but it's not
I'm
true.
sorry, Ben is next.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to say, that I agree with Garfield. I think I was agreeing with where you were going just now. I think the motion on the table that Rich made is language that I think is totally makes this acceptable. We are creating a sign that we can tap during budget season. When we approach that 3.5 million number, we tap the sign and say, hey, guys, let's make sure we actually need to go over this. I have no doubt that Liz and staff would probably do everything in their power to not go over that number in the first place, just because that's their job and they're good at their job. So I don't think we need to keep going round and round. I think we should take a break if.
Yeah, so Michelle, then Melina, and then Phil, and then we're gonna vote.
First off, I said in the meetings as well, where it was said it would be helpful to the staff. Also, the people that are sitting around here tonight may not be the same people around here next year. So having something in place, so future boards and committees can refer to would be very helpful. It's not the law, it's a guidelines recommendation. Also reviewing some of Liz's procedures with regard to the budget season that in preparation of tomorrow night's finance committee meeting. It's very structured, very precise. Personally, I don't think this is going to throw our town manager throw her off at all. I think it just is another guideline, a tool she would use and her staff would use. So I do think we have to have something in place here. And taking out the last line as what's recommended, I think that will work. Just by something.
Melina, go ahead.
No, I'm fine. Yeah,
Very
yeah,
good.
thank you. Yeah.
Can I ask one procedural
So I'm
question?
gonna, yes, you can then go to Phil, then I'm gonna go to Liz, because she actually is here. Go ahead. Yeah,
So,
it's a procedural.
yeah, well, it's, I just wanna know. As far as like the 3.5 million, the intention, so. Last year, said, let's just take the emergency temporary bridge into place. And so that comes up and that gets executed. So then we're allowed just to take 0.5, right? That's what we're saying for that budget. So
Well, we're saying.
it's not the new presented, it's not this year's presented budget. It's all spending from previous approvals and this coming year's budget.
Yeah, but with Rich's motion, that's one of the problems I had with it, would take it over 5 years.
So you're looking at the last 5 years, you're looking ahead
Yeah,
at your planning, trying to see if we can, over 5 years, come to sort of where the mean average, if you take the 5
Okay.
years and average it out, I think that's what my language
Yeah.
is saying.
I think so.
So we're giving kind of a general, looking historically before things started ballooning, that was kind of where we were. I think we're just trying to hope to have that as a safe.
But to Michelle's point and to your point, the way I look at it, Eric, is that 3 million, a board next year could say, we're not gonna include that 3 million because that was an extraordinary event. I won't use the word emergency, but an extraordinary event, and it's not fair to include that in the capital, or they may not. But that's something that whoever the select board and finance committee, the way Rich has got this worded, they could say, we're gonna put that aside. Yeah. Bill,
Just one clarification is when we go through the budget process, we're always talking about authorizations for borrowing, which is separate than what I think you're saying here, right?
Right.
Well, we're not, this is not geared towards the authorizations that we review each year. This is geared towards the actual bond
Right.
that we take out
Yeah.
each November.
No, I get
So
that.
we do have to anticipate what we might be borrowing.
I mean, we may be borrowing off of previously approved things and some new things that may.
So just hypothetically, we may, and I'm making this up, okay, so what if we go through the budget process and we're told that in order for a grant submission to proceed, that the town needs to authorize some amount of borrowing, which would only occur at some future date if we got the grant and ABC, XYZ events happen. I think we've sort of gone through that before.
Yes, we have.
So I'm just sort of, at the risk of overcomplicating it, I'm just saying that those authorization decisions are obviously very different, I think is what you said, than the borrowing decision.
You're correct, but what it also prevents, not that it happens often, from us approving something or even being asked to approve something that's really not gonna happen in the next fiscal year. Like, we think this is a good idea, it'll probably happen in 2 years, but we wanna we're town meeting approval. Where what you're saying is, they've come to us and said, in order to get this grant, we need town meeting approval. It won't happen until FY 28. That's different than, we're gonna be really organized and come to you 2 years ahead of time for borrowing.
Okay.
I think there are two separate things, and you're right.
I agree, I just want to clarify.
Yeah, Liz, go right ahead.
Thank you.
And
Okay, thank you everyone for your concerns about me. I really appreciate it. But I wish you would have asked me before, all of this discussion. You assumed that I actually like borrowing. I don't. I've never been in a community that has borrowed so much, and it makes me extremely nervous. I like to buy things with free cash, not borrowing. I only prefer borrowing for bigger purchases, which means that we have to reduce our borrowing cost time to make sure we have enough in the reserves to make larger purchases, and then to borrow for long term for capital, actual structural needs, facilities, large actual assets of multi-million-dollar projects. I am not in favor of borrowing long term for vehicles or anything like that. So, and the way that this whole policy is written is not just for the town manager. So this also puts that restriction on the finance and the select board, which I think is what Steve was alluding to, was that this was a guide for everybody that's involved in the preparation and the review. That's the way that the first paragraph on the first page at the bottom, it says the budget and financial goals are set forth by the town select board and finance committee. And objective of the town in providing agreed upon financial guidelines to be used in the preparation and the review of the town budget. It's not by the town manager, it doesn't specifically state that. So these are guidelines for everybody, I believe. And that means, though, that if I don't bring forward a lot of borrowing or any type of capital projects, I will be bringing forward the whole kit and caboodle of what is literally that all the departments are identifying. And I will say, this is what we can afford in free cash, and I'm not probably gonna borrow anything. And you may say, well, actually, I prioritize this, so we should borrow. And then you have a guideline. So I'm in favor of whatever decision that you guys feel is comfortable for you when that time comes. Because ultimately is you, for each of the boards that are gonna be comfortable going to town meeting and bringing a budget for town meeting voters. I recommend to you, but it's your budgets that you're taking to the town meeting. So this policy really should be thought of comprehensively, not just to one individual, okay? So, thank you.
Excellent. Let's try a vote on this.
Do I have, I have a motion, I have a second.
Yep.
So Madonna,
I want to vote for this motion.
Malena,
Same here. Yeah.
and
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Michelle is aye, Rich is aye.
Let's try else. Phil?
No.
Ben?
Aye.
Darko?
Aye.
Eric?
No.
And I'm aye, so it passes 3-2 from the select board. It passes the finance committee and.
Do you want me to send a revised document to the manager and the select board? Okay, sure, will do.
Finance.
And the finance committee. Okay, thank you all. And a motion for the finance committee to adjourn from our joint visits.
Second.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for people in the audience.
Well, thank you for your work. We appreciate it.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing your work. Thank you.
Select board's announcements and statements. Phil,
No,
Ben,
I just want to say thank you to everyone who helped put together the holiday stroll on Saturday and everyone who came out. It was, as usual, a lovely night in downtown Great Barrington. I just want to say happy holidays and happy first night of Hanukkah.
thank you. Start
Yeah, well, Eric, Ben said, but, I'd like to also say a shout out to our DPW crew who knocked it out with the roads and they were like so clean so quickly. That I thank them for that. It's good work. And, I have one little complaint. Well, I know I can't expect any special treatment, but I do work for the town. So I would expect that maybe you would listen or hear me when I say there's a problem with that light or that blinking light down across from the police station. I've heard we'll take care of it, even from Stephen, about 4 or 5 times, and there's nothing's been done. So I would appreciate if we would do something about it. Unless my thought is if the state's paying, it's their money that going out the window, that's fine. If it's our money, then I don't like it.
So let's find out. Thank you, Carl. Eric,
Nothing at this time.
and nothing for me. Okay, town manager's report.
Report for tonight, December 15th, 2025. The planning board will be hosting a public meeting as part of the open space and recreation plan update on Saturday, January 10th at 10:30 in the morning at Mason Library. This meeting is an opportunity for residents to share feedback on local parks, trails, recreational facilities, and open space priorities, and to help guide future planning, improvements, and funding decisions. Community participation is encouraged to ensure the plan reflects the needs, values of Great Barrington. More information will be distributed through a press release and website posting coming soon. The informational public event held at Ramsdale on December 10th was very well attended and generated a strong community interest. Residents met with Perry Dean Rogers Architects to review concept design board and share feedback with particular interest focused on the future of the upstairs great room and clarification on the project timeline. As part of an ongoing engagement process, design boards inviting public input on how the new spaces should function, focusing on character, feeling, furnishings, and activities, will be displayed in various town buildings in the coming months. These boards will gather feedback on envisioned spaces, including reading rooms, galleries, community areas, meeting and program rooms, children's and teen spaces, and the Great Hall. A companion survey will also be available aligned with these displays, and they'll be launched to inform the next phase of design and planning, so stay tuned for more information on both of those things. On New Year's Eve, the town's transit department of the South County Connector will be offering free rides from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. within its 7 South County service communities. This initiative was made possible through the generous support of the Southern Berkshire Rural Health Network, with multiple on-demand drivers available throughout the evening. Residents are encouraged to take advantage of this service to celebrate safely and avoid drinking and driving. Additional information is available at socoride.org. During a recent Park and Recreation Commission meeting, commissioners highlighted the unplowed section of Seacorn Cross Road as a valued passive recreation area that has been informally enjoyed by residents in recent years. The closed segment located between Round Hill Road and Seekonk Road provides opportunities for walking, hiking, wildlife observation, and cross-country skiing during the winter season, with limited parking available at each end. The town continues to encourage safe and respectful use of this corridor while reminding the public that the road does remain closed and unmaintained for vehicle traffic throughout the winter months. During the since the select board voted to increase the Housatonic Water Works reimbursement program to $1,500 at their September 1st meeting, I'm happy to report that with staff's ongoing effort to promote the increase, approximately 25 residents have applied already for the reimbursement. Less than 2 weeks. Following the program's outreach plan, the town will be mailing informational postcards in the coming weeks and deploying lawn signage as well as indoor informational posters at each town building to continue expanding awareness and encourage additional participation. The town received recent correspondence raising questions regarding the status, timeline, and oversight of the Prosperity Way Affordable Housing Project. In response, the Affordable Housing Trust has been invited to provide an update to the Select Board at its January 12th meeting. The update is intended to focus on the current status of the project, contractual and legal considerations, the role of town council, and the trust's approach to oversight and accountability with the goal of ensuring transparency and a shared understanding of this initiative moving forward. The select board will be kept informed regarding the trust's availability and whether the January 12th update is confirmed or requires postponement to a future meeting. In alignment with the select board's priorities of proactive planning, intergovernmental coordination, and transparent communication, I have been actively engaged with Mass DOT Rail to seek greater clarity on the long-standing storage activity on Mass DOT Rail property along Van Dusenville Road. Mass DOT has confirmed that the materials in Great Barrington are associated with the broader Housatonic Railroad rehabilitation project between Sheffield and Pittsfield, with additional work between Pittsfield and Lee anticipated to resume in spring of 26. To support responsible planning and minimize impacts to the surrounding neighborhood, I have requested a projected or soft timeline consistent with other Mass DOT capital projects, so the town can anticipate activities, coordinate resources, and keep residents informed. I will continue to advocate for timely updates and keep the select board appraised as additional information becomes available. Following concerns raised during citizen speak at a prior select board meeting regarding potential cell tower lease on Van Dusenville Road, staff reviewed and after confirming zoning and permitting requirements, it was determined that the parcel in question does not allow for a cell tower use under current zoning, even with a special permit. Therefore, a tower cannot be erected at this location. Appreciate the resident bringing this issue forward, allowing staff to promptly verify facts, providing clarity, and ensure zoning regulations are being appropriately upheld. We will continue to respond to resident concerns and ensure land use decisions align with adopted bylaws and community standards. Finally, Mason Library will be hosting the 29th annual Berkshire Library Legislative Breakfast on Friday, January 30th at 8 a.m. in the main reading room. This annual public event brings together library supporters, staff, trustees, and legislators to celebrate the vital role libraries play in our communities. They highlight statewide library initiatives and funding priorities and engage directly with legislators on issues affecting library services. Attendees will have the opportunity to thank legislatures for their continued support, share perspectives, and connect with colleagues from libraries and regional organizations across the county. RSVPs are requested by January 15th, and additional information and registration details are available by contacting the information that will be in my report posted on the page. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
License and permits. Application for new common victualers license by Matthew Scott, Optimal Holdings LLC, DBA Soco Creamery, located at 5 Railroad Street to operate an ice cream shop. Proposed hours of operation are 12 PM to 9 PM. Is someone here? What's the board's pleasure?
You know my pleasure. I'd like to see someone here. If I'm here, they can be here.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll pass over this one. I mean, they're open, it's not gonna affect their operation.
Yeah.
Next is an application for a new inn holders license by Tim Martin, Berkshire Mountain Inn LLC, located at 518 South Main Street, to operate an inn with 11 rooms and even a detached carriage house. Someone here?
That's me.
Just come right up and give us a little overview of your project.
The overview is basically the same as it's been, except we're just modernizing the furniture, the Wainwright. This is Wainwright Inn, I purchased it. My youngest daughter and her husband will reside there. There is a carriage house, we can make that up their full-time residence. And actually take up part-time residents inside the building. And it's gonna operate the same way it did, except we're not going to have cooking food on site. We're just gonna have continental breakfast. And for now, down the road, things might change. Sort of a housing combination situation with, trying to put two birds in one stone. Just kidding, I'm a builder in town.
That sounds good. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the new inn holder license as presented to Tim Martin, Berkshire Mountain Inn LLC, located at 518 South Main Street, with 11 rooms, including a detached carriage house, pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards.
Do I have a second?
Excuse me, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Good
Thank
luck.
you very much.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yeah. I'm gonna just go back for a second because I didn't do the minutes that were revised. I skipped over that. Do you have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the October 20th, 2025 minutes as included in the packet.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next is a request for permission to use town roads and property by Tara Wilson of Adventures and Jonathan Lane of Revolution 250 to conduct a procession from South Main Street, exact location to be determined, to Town Hall on Saturday, January 10th, 2026, from 1 to 3 PM. Do you want to give an explanation?
Sure, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity. So we are, Revolution 250 is an organization that's been around since 2015. We have been working with partners all across the Commonwealth commemorating 250th anniversary events. And we are now hard upon Henry Knox, a noble train of artillery, which passed through this community 250 years ago on the 10th of January, which conveniently is the date we've chosen to do our Henry Knox event. It essentially is got three parts to it, one of which is a procession of the sleds with draft animals and some militia reenactors, probably members of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Sons of the American Revolution. We will muster at the Great Barrington Historical Society, march from there to Town Hall. We have the Navy Theater booked for an indoor commemoration. That's a part 2 where we will commemorate all of the towns in the Berkshires who were part of the Knox story. This is sort of our hub, but we want to recognize every town from here to Blandford at this particular commemoration before we move on to Springfield. And then the last part is a reception. So we're essentially asking, in addition for use of the roads and town property to end at, we'd also like to ask that there is a town representative present at the commemoration to receive a plaque that we are giving every community across Massachusetts that is part of the Knox Trail.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the use of town roads and property as presented by Tara Wilson and Jonathan Lane to conduct a 250-year Revolution procession through South Main Street to Town Hall on Saturday, January 10th, 2026, pending any and all outstanding sign-offs relevant departments and boards.
A second with question.
Yes, go right ahead, Garfield. We have a second.
Yeah, I'll be quite frank with you, I don't have concrete information, but I've heard this and have been told this. The daughters of the American Revolution aren't really very, nice with people of color. Is that still the same? Is the same? I don't really want.
There is a history in the past, certainly, where they struggled to integrate. But that is no longer the case. They are a very integrated organization and actually are reaching out beyond the Patriots of Color, the more than 1,500 Patriots of Color who serve here in Massachusetts and beyond, to look at the Hispanics, particularly out in California and Texas, who actually supported the Continental Congress during the American War for Independence. So there is a history there, to be sure, but they're going a long way to correct it.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
And have we resolved the matter of where the oxen can go and where they can't go?
They're staying on the hard top.
Okay, all right.
Just order of operations, so muster at the Historical Society, march up. Is the ceremony at the Mahiwi after the cannon and the musket fire, or is it ceremony and then?
We'll probably do the musket fire after the commemoration because the public are gonna wanna see that.
Okay.
And if they're in the commemorative program, we don't wanna deprive them of that pleasure.
Gotcha.
Cannon fire, if it happens, we'll probably post the cannon down by Memorial Field just for safety purposes. The musket fire is much easier controlled, much more easily controlled.
Sure. And are the animals cool with all of the firing
Yeah.
of things?
Yeah. These are draft animals. They're used for large crowds. We're working with Hobby Knowles Stables in Duxbury, Massachusetts.
Okay.
They're all over Massachusetts with their draft animals, so yeah, they're fine.
Thank you.
So we have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
See
you.
there.
Thank you.
Amen.
Okay. Those who have trouble sleeping at night, the next part will help a lot. This is the 2026 annual license renewals with a consent agenda. So, Aaron, guide us through this.
All right, so there's a few here tonight where I'm gonna recuse myself from one particular line item in these, but overall, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the whole section. So the first section we're talking about is on premises alcohol license. And I'm gonna do all of them besides 425 Park Street in Housatonic, Mass.
Is there any other one?
Yeah, I don't know how we wanna do this. Do we want me just to recuse myself for any ones?
These are the ones you're gonna recuse yourself from, and we'll do
The
those
specific
separately.
blinds?
Yes, and we'll do
So,
those separately.
If we could make a separate motion for anything pertaining to Triplex Cinema, which is alcohol license, entertainment license, other license. I think I just forgot one.
Okay, so make the,
Oh, Common Vic.
okay, so triplex is on here, so we will not do the triplex to start with. And we won't do the one that Eric suggested, which I already forgot.
Garden Pub, 425 Park Street.
Common or garden pub.
So do you have a motion?
I move to approve the 2026 renewals of the on-premises alcohol license as posted on the consent agenda and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards.
Except for the two that we have mentioned.
Except for Common or Garden Pub at 425 and the Triplex at 70 Railroad Street.
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now I move to approve, let's see where we are. Here. I move to approve the 2026 renewals of the on-premise alcohol licenses of the Common or Garden Pub and the Triplex as posted on the consent agenda and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards. Do I have a second?
Second.
And there will be three of us voting. You don't have to get up. This is too complicated. You'll wear out sneakers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that's three of us. We made it through.
All
Okay,
right, so the next one is all premises alcohol, off premises alcohol license. I move to approve the 2026 renewals of off-premise alcohol license as posted on the consent agenda and pending any or all outstanding sign-offs, relevant departments and boards.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
I have a second, but I think I might have to recuse myself from Travis.
Yes, you work for Travis, sorry. So all except for Travis.
All except for Travis. Yep.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now you want to do Travis.
Yes, I move to approve the 2026 renewals of off-premise alcohol license for Tradas. As posted on the consent agenda and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards.
Do I have a second? Guys,
Second.
down at the end, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Can I just make a correction, please?
yes,
Well, the store is not open till 9 o'clock on Sundays. It's 12 to 5.
that is what they put on their license.
Okay, thank you.
That's what they put on their application.
Yeah.
That's what is on their license. That allows them to stay open that late if they ever want to.
Okay, thank you.
And probably have you work then, so we'll hope you never do that.
Mhm.
Not me, brother.
Okay, so common victular is next. I'm gonna refuse from Fairview Hospital. I think this
I'm
one's gonna want,
refusing from the same, common or garden.
I'm recusing from the triplex cinema.
a boring life, so apparently.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
Yes, number 3, I move to approve the 2026 renewals of the common vehicular license as posted on the consent agenda. And pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant department of boards, excluding common or garden. And Fairview
And triplex.
and triplex,
Go-
but then we only have 2 people voting.
No,
No, we're all voting.
We're gonna
Oh,
go.
okay, yeah, I get it. Thank you.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. Now let's do these one at a time, the
Yeah.
next. So why don't you start with Fairview and I won't participate
Okay,
in that.
sounds good. I move to approve the 2026 renewals of the common vicular license for Fairview Hospital as posted on the consent agenda and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs, relevant departments and boards. Can I get a second, please?
Second, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so next, let's do the common or garden pump. Do I have a, let's see, I'll make the motion.
Yeah.
I move to approve the 2026 renewal of the common victular license for the common or garden pub as posted on the consent agenda and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So 4 and 1 recused. Last is the triplex.
I move to approve the 2026 renewals of the common vehicular license of the triplex movie theater as posted on the consent agenda and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so there's 1 recused on that. Is that the triplex?
Yes.
So 1 recused, 4 in favor.
Nice.
Okay, so that's that one. Let's go to inhold.
Inholders. I move to approve the 2026 renewals of the inholder licenses as posted on consent agenda and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye, there's a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm just curious, as to probably is an asterisk, but I don't see why is Wainwright, in dark print and others aren't?
That was the one that we did tonight. That was the one that we actually just approved the change in ownership.
Okay.
Auto says,
Right. I move to approve the 2026 renewals.
Spell that out.
Oh, sorry.
May I ask a question?
of course. Just come on.
Yeah, thank you. With regard to auto sales,
Yep,
I'm Michelle Levine of 70 Division Street. I live not far from Four Mills.
yes,
And I know this is auto sales, but they have a car crushing facility right there. And on Saturdays, they far exceed that operation beyond 12 o'clock. Which greatly diminishes the enjoyment of our property. We can't have a family gathering on a summer Saturday afternoon without hearing a backup workers and car crushing going on. Is this only in relation to Formel selling cars?
That's what this license is. I don't know what license comes under. Does this come under crushing?
It
too?
does, class 3. Mhm.
So I'm
That's a
sorry,
bulk
what's that?
dealer.
Okay, so we will remind them that on their license, that it's 8 AM to 12 PM, and that's all they can do.
Because I did bring it up last
You
year
did.
and, the attitude, and I do apologize to the select board, was if they had to run a little later because of something, say a truck came in and they weren't, that was okay, but this has become a matter of routine during the summer. As a matter of fact, I thought their license was the end time of 2 to 3 o'clock until I saw that last year's license renewals.
Okay, we will remind them.
Yeah, because it does take away from the enjoyment of our property. I would appreciate that.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you so much.
Did we have a motion?
So I don't think so. Now, yeah, let me move to approve the 2026 renewals of the auto sales class 2 and class 3 licenses as posted on the consent agenda and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is all other licenses. And all other licenses will have two, I've already figured this out, common.
Yep.
So garden, pub and triplex, we will do separately.
Sounds good.
Rather more.
Number 6. I move to approve the 2026 renewals of various entertainment license as posted on the consent agenda as number 6, all other licenses and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards. This excludes the triplex cinema and common or garden pub.
Do I have a second?
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to approve the 2026 renewal of the common or garden pub entertainment license as posted on the consent agenda as number 6, all other licenses and pending any or all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So it's 4 with 1 recused.
Sorry,
Two refused,
just
two.
real quick.
Oh, no.
We're on all other licenses.
Yes.
We've said entertainment license.
I'm sorry.
This is for the pool table.
All other, yes.
Yeah, so
That's right.
for clarification, actually, pool tables are under chapter 183, which is entertainment.
Okay.
So, but it is separate from a traditional live versus
Entertainment.
non-live entertainment. And actually, motion picture is also considered entertainment,
Right.
dancing by patrons and pool tables, all of that. So this is a different category of entertainment. We're gonna clean it up next year, but that's how it was the previous
Yeah,
years.
it was just the fact that we're
Yep.
labeled amusement device here.
Yeah.
Check. Okay.
Perfect.
I move to approve the 2026 renewals of various entertainment license as posted on the consent order.
The triplex.
Triplex cinema, all other licenses and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And so 1 recused for the triplex. Next is entertainment.
But didn't you?
Why won't you
did
refuse for the common and garden?
425
I
again?
did.
What's that?
Just now.
I did.
Did you?
I did the first time around. Yeah.
We did one and then,
But we didn't do the separate approval for the 425.
Was there, only because I missed it. Where was that?
Yeah, so we need to do the entertainment,
Yes, we
garden,
did, we
common
didn't.
garden pub approval.
I thought
That's right.
We did that.
we did.
No, we didn't.
Steve did it.
Steve did it.
Did?
So we're
How
now,
come
we're
you're
now
on
number
this
7. We were doing 6.
That's what
I
I
didn't
need
hear
number
that.
7.
We haven't done 7 yet.
Okay, all right, sorry.
I told you this gets confusing. So on number 7, we have the common or garden. We have the triplex. And is there any other I'm missing that's gonna be increased? So hearing none, we'll vote on all except for the common or garden and the triplex.
I move to approve the 2026 renewals of the entertainment license as posted on the consent agenda and pending any and all all outstanding sign-offs relevant from departments and boards, excluding the Common or Garden Pub and Triplex Cinema.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to approve the 2026 renewal of the entertainment license for the Common or Garden Pub as posted on the consent agenda, pending any and all outstanding sign off from relevant departments and boards. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I show one being recused. Your turn.
I move to approve the 2026 renewals of the entertainment license for the Triplex Cinema as posted on consent agenda and pending any and all outstanding sign-offs from relevant departments and boards.
Do I have a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
I show one recused, please. Okay, we made it through that. New business, please. Discussion of Department of Public Utilities hearing on January 8th, 2026 regarding Housatonic Waterworks and possible votes to direct the town manager to send comments. Do you want to?
Yes, so, there is a public hearing scheduled for January 8th. Public comments are due by email by January 6th. And I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to let me know if you wanted a formal letter of support or concerns or anything for this public hearing that's going forward for the financing, to support the financing of the filtration.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was just looking to, in our letter, I mean, we are all looking for this filtration system to move forward, you know? I was just wondering if we can, you know, keep asked to be kept informed of, the construction schedule and, deadlines and the general, knowledge of what their plans are for oversight during the construction.
Anyone else? Do I have a motion?
So say.
I move to direct the town manager to send the DPU a letter on behalf of the select board outlining the comments expressed by the select board regarding the Housatonic Waterworks filed petition docket DPU 25-145 pursuant to MGLC 165, section 2 and MGLC 164, section 14. Requesting authorization to incur long-term indebtedness in a principal amount not to exceed $1,155,089 to fund the completion of the manganese filtration system as required by the DPU 23-65.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So I think we should be clear that we're in support of this, but we do want to see the system built. And we want the town manager to draft a letter and send it, please. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Citizen speak time.
Hi, Donna G, that's 260 Park Street. On that last motion, I don't know if the DPU is also going to be taking into consideration other expectations from the waterworks, like providing public water for the community. I don't know if it's just the green manganese that you talked about, or if there are other lapses in their agreements with the DPU to provide one of them with water for the community in public space. And things or at least it's not here. But that's not what I came here to talk about. I came here to give you all an update on the Housatonic Filter Initiative. And let you know that, remind you all actually that we are a grassroots citizen advocacy organization. We are all volunteers and we have a board of 5 members. We have an agreement with the Nonprofit Center of the Berkshires to be our fiscal sponsor. That's happened since I last met with y'all here. And Art Blumenthal and I hold meetings several times a week with local and regional business groups. And seeing some of you there, at some of them. We're talking with fundraising advisors, media people, several articles of the Edge and the Eagle, and CTSB is going to create a video roundtable discussion, including filmed interviews with Housatonic Waterworks ratepayers, and leadership, and government leaders. The two goals are to get the word out to homes requiring filtration and get support from potential private donors to supplement the Great Barrington Yearly Fund. We're kind of hopeful that more people are going to apply, and the Yearly Fund is going to run dry. And by that time, I'm hoping that we have raised enough to supplement those funds. We've raised a little bit. We've raised about $1,500 with donations and a GoFundMe account that was actually recommended by the United Trust Committee, the nonprofit center director, and it did provide some seed money for us. Because all of our materials, our needs surveys, flyers, slide presentations, our desktop published at no cost to the organization, all of our printing, we do ourselves. Okay, so since we haven't raised a whole lot of money and could not on our own be installing filters, as I kind of thought we might be doing last August when the select board gave a blessing to this project, it's so fortunate that the town has that $168,000 to get these installations started. And I do celebrate the fact that I believe that this is truly a citizen government collaboration. It's great joy. Liz Hartsgrove has been terrific. Eric, you've been instrumental. Art Blumenthal, I couldn't do this without him because he's the business person and I'm not. I just have the idea. So that's our update, and 25 applications is a good number.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you.
Thank you.
James, go right ahead.
Good evening, it's James Garzoni, 84 North Lane Road. I just want to say that it brings music to my ears that hopefully we'll have some fiscal prudence with Ms. Hartsgrove saying that borrowing is not something that she likes to do. Hopefully we have free cash, and honestly, if we don't have the money, we can't spend it because Great Barrington is not affordable, and hopefully we can get our finances in order. Thank you so much.
Thank you, James. Michelle, go right ahead.
Michelle LeBear, 70 Division Street. I just wanted to comment on our town manager's announcement. And I just want to thank the town manager with regard to the cell tower, how quickly he responded and researched and responded to that issue. And I very much appreciate it, as well as reaching out with regard to the railroad dumping on Van Duzenville. And I do appreciate your efforts. However, that debris was dumped November 2023. I live right there. Not one more rail in 2 years has been added to it or removed from it. So if they're working on projects and that's why that is there, there's no activity there. As a matter of fact, vegetation's growing over the rails. It's time to get it out of there. It's actually such an embarrassment. My daughter comes from Boston. Obviously, she gets off the turnpike. She comes down 183 with her fiance. I tell her not to go down Van Duzenville Road. It's an embarrassment. And I shouldn't be paying the taxes I'm paying to look at something in my backyard like that. And I have to be honest with you, I think we're just being strung along. And my theory is that coincidentally, one of our neighboring towns wanted the railroad to get rid of the debris in their town, and magically at the same time their trucks were coming in dumping debris in my neighborhood. I've brought this up before. I have my own theory on it, but I think 2 years is more than enough time. There's no activity up there. It's just rusting, rotting, whatever is leaching into our ground, and it's time to get it out of there. And it's just a disgrace. It's just a disgrace. And I know I'm hiking down Van Duzenville, but I'm a resident there. I've had it. And it just is just, if the railroad runs right behind the town hall, if this was behind town hall, it'd be gone already. So it shouldn't be happening in my neighborhood. It shouldn't be happening in any neighborhood. 2 years is more than enough time for that railroad to get that stuff out of there. So I very much appreciate what our town manager has done, but I think we're just being strung along. Thank you.
Order.
Claudia Shapiro, 781 Plain Road. So at the December 1st meeting, I voiced my concerns and my fears. And I guess I naively thought someone would have reached out to me. So I'm again asking this board, what's your intentions for me, property, my home, in relationship to a regional airport? No comment?
We can't comment on it, be violating the open meeting law, it's not on the agenda.
And you can't comment?
I can't comment, but I can talk to you after the meeting and when we can touch base, okay?
Okay, so I'm gonna also add that at the December 11th planning board meeting, before they approve the minutes, I asked them to please read back a statement I had read into the record on October 23rd at their meeting. And Chair Nelson started out, Claudia Shapiro, 70 Egremont Plain Road, which is really traumatized me. I've been really traumatized before that, and I'm really super struggling board. And I explained to her that 70 Egremont Plain Road is the airport's address, which verifies my concerns that my property was brought into land court that didn't include me. So, like I said, my concerns are well-founded, they're legitimate. And all I've gotten from year in, year out, is just the silent treatment. How to put yourself in my shoes, people. Thanks.
Eileen?
Oh, no, excuse me. I have a cat, so I'm a little distracted. Sorry about that. I have a newsletter question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The solar system on Van Dusenville Road that is not allowed now under zoning, does that have anything to do with the one that's going before the planning board?
No, it's a cell tower, not a solar. It was a-
Okay, so thank you.
You're welcome. Any media time? Seeing none, select board time. Bill?
Nothing.
Ben?
Nothing for me.
Garfield?
Nothing.
Eric?
Very productive meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Unanimous consent, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.